Start by extending my entire case. My opponent never attacks my contentions. Through her silence, she grants that, due to their intelligence, dolphins are entitled to the same basic protection afforded to humans at the hands of other humans. She grants that the taiji hunt should be held to the same ICJ demand of scientific rationale as whaling. She grants that there's health risks from mercury poisoning that the UN must acknowledge. This lack of clash allows you to sign a proposition ballot right now. Now, to go straight down her case. She says there's no evidence the UN can solve, but if you look at the topic, it doesn't say solve. It says decry or demand. At the point where she concedes my case, I have ample reason to decry and demand. My burden in this debate is met. Next, she brings up the example of whaling and how it hasn't stopped. She's right, but the 2,000 killed annually are a far cry less than the 60,000 killed every year before the IWC stepped in. Decrying an activity creates progress. She says a UN resolution might trigger nationalism and make the situation worse. First, this evidence doesn't specify UN resolutions. It talks about condemnation from any source. Second, results triumph nationalism. Since the Cove, the method of slaughter has changed, and the number of taiji dolphins killed has dropped from 1,402 in 2008 to 899 last year. Attention works. She says we're using taiji as a scapegoat, but admits it's the most recognized example. The UN picks high-profile cases all the time. It targeted South Africa for apartheid. It condemned genocide in Bosnia. Were those the only examples of racism and genocide at those times? No. But by standing on principle in the well-known examples, you focus global attention on the unethical behavior and allow the impact to ripple around the world. Next, she tries to tell you that I'm using some sort of cultural argument here, but I'm really not. The only mention I make to culture is when I tell you that protecting health is important. This is a non-issue. Finally, her alternative scenario. She's offering this as a counterplan, but please notice it is a non-competitive counterplan. You can have both my idea and her idea at the same time. So I'm going to perm this and say we do both. I absorb any benefits she has in her plan, but the proposition case is the only half of this debate that protects people from the danger of mercury poisoning and addresses the unethical and moral shift to giving the rights to dolphins as sentient species. In closing, I remind you, she dropped my entire case. Vote prop. Thank you.